Kali. In the Indian mythology, Kali appears as a battle-maddened demon slayer who comes into the world at moments when dark forces, demons, threaten civilization and especially the feminine. In the core myth of Kali's emergence, she appears out of Durga's third eye at one of the key moments when the Devi is threatened by two demons called Chanda and Munda. Durga's face darkens when Kali emerges with a roar, her sword swinging, cutting down demons and crunching them in her teeth. At last, she slashes off the heads of Chanda and Munda and presents them to Durga. She won the battle. Later in the battle, Kali confronts the demon's chief, Raktabija. Raktabija has a magical power. When a drop of his blood spills, the drop turns into a warrior. When many drops of his blood spill, they turn into warriors. Kali with her tongue licks up his blood before it can touch the ground and gets super strong. Many images of Kali show her with that long tongue, caught in the act of licking the blood of warriors. In these images, she often appears as a hag, ugly, with fangs and with blood dripping from her tongue. But as human consciousness evolved over the centuries, so it seems did the image of Kali. Her body became beautiful, as it is in most modern representation. Instead of seeing her as an almost demonic presence, devotees meditating on Kali began to find esoteric resonance in their gesture and in her implements. Raktabija, the demon's chief's blood, becomes a symbol of our uncontrolled desires that agitate our mind, and Kali's tongue becomes the power of the yogic will to eat up desires and thoughts, so that the luminosity of our essential awareness can reveal itself. Let me tell this story. You need to find your Kali side, I told Diana. You may know somebody like Diana. In fact, some maybe have a Diana in your yoga class or find parts of Diana in yourself. She is a manager, a single mom with a busy schedule and a really nice person. She values yoga as a doorway into peace and well-being, teaches it to troubled teens, and always stresses the importance of equanimity and other yoga virtues: non-violence, surrender, commandment, detachment. But Diana's approach to yoga is like her approach to life. She is so conflict averse that it's hard for her even to admit that she has negative feelings. She rarely raises her voice, and she once told me that she can't remember the last time she felt anger. But at this moment, in a family conflict that involves stolen money, elderly abuse, and shady lawyers, Diana sensed that her carefully cultivated tendency to seek peace over conflict is not helping her. She called for advice. She wants to be told how to keep maintaining her relationship with her siblings and still stop them from cheating her mom. In other words, she wants a prescription for solving her conflicts in a nice, non-violent yogic way. Instead, what popped out of my mouth is, you need to find your Kali side. I suppose I could have put it differently. I could have told Diana about that moment in the Bhagavad Gita when Krishna tells the warrior Arjuna to do his duty and stand up and fight, even against his own family. Or I could have simply said that yoga isn't just about being peaceful, it's also about being strong and wild and forceful. Yoga, I could have reminded her, indulges warrior poses, which is basically the posture you take when you're aiming an arrow to someone's heart. But my intuition was that Diana needed not so much a rational argument as an image, a story, something to bypass the cultural conditioning of our left brain dominant mind. Diana, like so many of us who practice yoga, had a half conscious tendency to confuse being yogic with being nice. Not that kindness and equanimity aren't essential yogic qualities. It was just that people close to Diana often noticed that her yogic calm looked like a way of papering over difficult emotions, knotty feelings, and desires that felt dangerous, or at least not socially accepted. It's about awakening our sacred femininity. The energy of the sacred feminine transforms our perception so that we can actually see the divine dimension of ourselves and others. She had yet to recognize that even though in the West we tend to privilege the serenity inducing, rejuvenating, and stress reducing aspects of yoga, the yogic path is also about bringing out our strength and channeling our wildness. As you go more deeply into your yoga practice, it will ask you at some point to confront those parts of yourself that may have been suppressed by fear, trauma, or social conditioning, and which may be clenching your joy, undercutting your confidence or passion, or sabotaging your health. In a way, our fears, our trauma, our social conditionings are like the demons in the story. And Kali showed how she is facing the demons. She is drinking the blood of the demons. And she is killing the demons to transform, to liberate. The goddess Kali shows up in yogic art almost as much as Ganesha. Kali is the one with the wild hair and the bare breasts and the severed heads around the neck. She usually carries a sword, and one of the ways you know it's Kali is that she is sticking out her tongue. Ah! Try it and feel how it brings out your wild side. She's usually described as the goddess of destruction, and she looks scary even though her face and body are also beautiful. Kali is supposed to have arisen out of the warrior goddess Durga during a particular fiery battle with some demons. The demons had a nasty skill. They spit blood, turned into more demons' warrior. Kali's job was to lick the drops of blood from the slain demons, and she did it so well that Durga won the battle. But as Kali developed over the century, the image of the wild battled goddess became a symbol of both spiritual and physiological liberation. She came to be understood as more than just a warrior. She became an archetype of the Great Mother, a protector, a giver of boons, as well as the destroyer of our demonic tendency in ourselves. There are many ways to view Kali, and the way a devotee sees her depends on some extent to his own level of consciousness. For yogis, serious spiritual aspirations and awakened devotees, Kali represents enlightening itself. The yogi Kali is the enlightening force that smashes your preconceived notions, frees you of conditional beliefs, false personal identities, and everything else that keeps you from recognizing your true identity. In other words, parts of what Kali represents is the power to release that in you that is true, not only ultimate true, but the truth that is uniquely yours. That power often remains in shadow, hidden behind social masks and even the mask you assume in yoga. So, tuning into Kali in daily life often means tuning into aspects of yourself that you normally don't have access to. A power that can step outside the conventional and become bold and fiery. Fiery in love, fiery in ecstasy, firing in your willingness to stand up to the demons in yourself and others. You don't become free just by going with the flow. You become free by knowing when to say no, to fight for what is right, and to be appreciative, ruthless, and to engage with the fiery force of grace. Kali is though love. She is often harsh. She has no manners. In her spiritual essence, she is epitomized. The demand that you become a naked warrior for truth and freedom, ruthlessly sacrificing your own pride for the sake of liberation. Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha. Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha. Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha. Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha.